Thank you and good morning. Now, moving from the career opportunities in the US to what is the present scene in India. In India, we started traditionally wood science and technology much before we started forestry, much before the wood science came formally into the forestry sector. We were doing a lot of wood preservation treatment, a lot of wood seasoning. In the period around 1850 to 1880, the railways in India was expanding at a very big pace, and a lot of timber from India was being exported to Britain for basically ships. So that was the time when wood science and technology started emerging as a major career option. And that was much before we started scientific forestry. We started scientific forestry around 1864 or around 1860. And the present shape of wood science studies in India started in 1906 when the FRI was started. But that was the period when basic wood science research was done. India is largely a tropical country with thousands of species of timbers. In those days, the basic research was done in the property of wood, on the property of timbers, how they can be used. And that was the initial work of FRI, and later on many other institutes have come up. But in the last one decade or last few decades, the wood science and technology scene in India is changing at a very fast pace, basically due to the emerging economy and how the economy is growing. And then demand for wood has increased, but there is also a scarcity of wood. It is a major concern. Scarcity is mainly due to the growing economy, and also due to the fact that various reasons have compelled us to lock our forests. There is in India, there is very little felling operations, timber felling operations in the natural forest. But this is how things are changing shape in India, and this is how these are the things which are affecting the wood science and technology field in the country. Wood science and technology, the research institutes, the FRI Dehradun, it is the pioneer. It started research in wood science and technology since 1906. Then the host of this conference, Institute of Wood Science and Technology, Bangalore. This was basically a research center of the FRI till 1986. After that, it has become a full-fledged institute catering to specifically to wood science and technology in the country. Then we also have the Indian Plywood Research and Training Institute, IPRITI. It is also located at Bangalore, one of the co-sponsors of this event. And then there are other institutions like the Kerala Forest Research Institute, Rubber Research Institute, Bamboo and Cane Development Institute, and then the Central Building Research Institute at Roorkee. There are various other players, but by and large, the three top, these are the most important players in the wood science and technology in the country. Now, the educational institutes, which are the institutions which are providing wood science and technology degrees. The FRI University, basically postgraduate degree in wood science and technology. Then IPRITI Bangalore, it is into plywood research and training, diploma and certificate courses. IWST Bangalore, the certificate courses. And then the MSc forestry courses of many universities have an input of wood science and technology. They do not have specific focused programs, but within the MSc forestry, there are inputs, there are courses dealing with wood science and technology. Now, just a slide on the FRI. Since 1991, we have the status of a deemed university. And then there is a All India entrance exam, basically the selection process for the students. We have quite a good faculty, not only in the wood science and technology sector, but being a forestry institute, there are inputs are available from various other fields, all fields of forestry, state-of-the-art laboratory, latest equipment, and of course, it is all backed by a very rich library. The students are participating in national and international conferences and exhibitions, and then there are also field visits to various research institutes and also the industries for gaining the practical knowledge. These are the academic courses. We are running 4 MSc courses: forestry, MSc forestry, wood science and technology, environment management, and then cellulose and paper technology. Okay, now the emerging opportunities. Research, forestry research, wood science and technology is a big emerging opportunity for the career development in India right now. Let us start with wood identification. Being a tropical country and also being a very major importer of timber, wood identification is an emerging field. Softwood, hardwoods, bamboo, then also the molecular characterization of different species. So wood identification is one of the major field. Then wood anatomy, microstructure, ultrastructures, anatomy in relation to ecology, systematics, evolution, and biogeographical linkages, and also the impact of climate change, global warming, so many other things. So these are the emerging opportunities. Dendrochronology, wood quality. As we go into tree improvement programs, as the country is moving towards raising more and more plantations outside the forest areas, improved varieties of trees are becoming available. So the qualities, the characters, the properties of the improved varieties, they also vary. And research is going more into a very focused area. What is the variety? What is the timber properties? For what it can be used? How long it can be sustained? So there are so many things in which researchers are being expected to contribute. Then fiber morphology, fiber analysis for paper, for different uses, and of course forensic. Timber forensics is also an emerging field. This slide gives an overview of WST research and development at the FRI. We started with timber mechanics, seasoning, the very traditional fields. And then we have, then it is also a repository of basic and applied data on wood science and technology in India. Strength properties of more than 400 species. I said basically India is a tropical country. Natural durability data of 300 species. These have all been evolved at FRI. But this was the period between, let us say, between 1906 to 1970 or 75. Now things are changing. We are more into the applied fields. Opportunities in wood industries and R&D interventions, wooden pallets, packing cases, Ashai glass. There are so many players who want research. There are a lot of industries who want research data, who want data on applied research, so that their commercial activities can go on, and this is how researchers are contributing and would be contributing in the years to come for supporting the research needs of the wood-based industries in India. Then plywood has also come up as a very big, very important field, as there is a shortage of timber in India. So research on plywood, various aspects of plywood, is also one important field in which there would be immense opportunities in the years to come. Cooling towers. We at FRI, we had during the last 4 or 5 years, there was a lot of input required from the researchers in FRI for the cooling tower industry. It in itself is a very large industry, and many Indian companies are even exporting the towers to several Gulf and neighboring countries. There are very, very big players in the cooling tower sector, and they are basically importing the timber. Since timber is not available in enough quantities in India, they are importing the timbers. So right from the import to the use, the wood technologist would be required to support this industry. We have cases where our students are working abroad. Our ex-students have gone abroad. They are at the source. They are locating the source of these raw materials, let us say in New Zealand or in Myanmar or in Indonesia. So, and then marketing it. There would be people in the marketing sector, then at the import level, and of course at the utilization level. So these are the different segments where the wood science and technologists would be required. Emerging opportunities, it's a very, very fast changing field. Wood science and technology, like other sciences, is changing at a very fast rate. It is basically being driven by the need. Wood chemistry, wood physiology, paleobotany, engineered wood, nanotechnology, forensic science, use of wood waste, assessment of wood quality of plantation timber, assessment of clonal material, and product-oriented research. These are the emerging fields. And if you look at the bottom of the slide, the assessment of wood quality of plantation timber, this is a very big emerging field because improved varieties are becoming available, and how it can be used, what is their life cycle. These are big gaps in the knowledge, in the area of knowledge, and these gaps would be required to be filled by researchers in the year to come. And then, of course, product-oriented research, research specifically designed for a particular product, for a particular type of product, or for particular life cycle, particular use. So that sort of research would also be required to be done in the years to come. Trainings, a lot of opportunities are available in trainings as a resource person, especially the trainings at the level of the carpenters, at the level of the people who work the wood. That is a big area, big gap in India. We have trainings at the level of master's degree in wood science and technology, but at the level of carpenters or at the level of the sawmillers. These are the gaps in training. Not many training institutions are available, but it is going to become an organized sector. Like in the developed countries, it's going to become an organized sector. There would be institutions, there would be training institutions which would be coming up in the years to come as Indians use more and more wood. They go into more and more specified products. So this would be the pallets, packing cases, bamboo utilization, railway sleepers, classification of timber seasoning. Training would be required, and as trainings increase, the number of training increase, the resource persons would also be required in the years to come. Then this is the research and training. Then opportunities in the wood-based industries. There are immense opportunities in the wood-based industries. I will just start from some data of the India State statistics. It's a huge amount of the timber which we are importing, and this timber, most of it is being consumed within the country. So you can imagine how things are growing, how things would, with the growth of the economy around 7 to 8%, how things would continue to grow. And they are also exporting wooden furniture, but not on a very big scale. The furniture industry, India ranks 40th in the furniture export and 49th in imports. It's a 350 billion rupee value industry, but 85% is in the unorganized sector. Furniture largely remains in the unorganized sector, and we have there is 17% share in furniture imports worldwide. So furniture is a major consumer of the wood in the country. Then the handicraft industry, there is a very strong handicraft industry, again in the unorganized sector, but it is very strong. There is a lot of exports of handicrafts out of the country. Top countries, this is the list of some of the top countries involved in these fields. Then plywood industry. First plywood industry started in Assam. Now the focus has shifted from Assam to northern India. There are 630 licensed plywood industries, and 500 of them are in the small and medium sector. And these would be the industries which are going to grow as the demand for plywood increases. So these industries would need specialized people, and Indian companies are listed among the top 10 plywood industries: Century Ply, Green Ply, and Sharda Plywood. Of course, these are the bigger ones, but there are many smaller ones whose business would grow as the country would need more and more plywood in the years to come. Then housing, complete wooden housing, largely we do not use in India, but we do use a lot of wood for windows, doors, cabinet, floors, interior paneling, molding, and so many other things. And then there is a Building Construction Code of India. There are several companies which are constructing wooden houses, but by and large, the houses constructed in India require wood for doors, windows, cabinet, floors, and so many other things. And as the housing sector grows, we would require more and more timber, more and more people with specialized knowledge. Right now, the sector which is contributing to the wooden doors and windows, it is largely unorganized. It is largely based on the local knowledge. But as people have more money, this once again would become a very organized sector, and the technical manpower would be required for this. Sports good industry, as you know, we have a very strong sports good industry since the Mughal period, 400-500 years old, and the major centers are Jalandhar in Punjab and Meerut, Gurgaon, and so many other places in the north. Not only cricket bats but also the hockey sticks. The demand for cricket bats and hockey stick is increasing. The demand for cricket bat is phenomenal. It is huge, but in that also the specialized knowledge, now it is going into that sector. Otherwise, it was all being passed on from one generation to other. But specialized knowledge, now it is going on into this sector, and we need research and training support also for this sector. And the demand for, especially for research input into the sport good, is so much that as an institute, FRI is not able to meet that. Then emerging opportunities, product-based packaging of packages of processes. Then generation of database on imported timber. A lot of imported timber is coming. It is coming in the name of different species. It would not necessarily be that species. And the traders, they do not have knowledge. It is being coming into the country and dumped into the market. Then new methods of analysis to supplement conventional practices. Environment protection in the wooden industry, earthquake resistant material, design of wooden structures, packaging technology, wood processing and manufacturing technology. These are the emerging fields which would be requiring wood technologists. Then opportunities in other sectors other than the wood science and technology, entrepreneurship, self-employment, primary and secondary processing of wood, which is largely right now in the unorganized sector. Then consultancies, supply of materials, wood trading equipments, import-export policies, then research, doctoral, postdoctoral research, not only in India but also in foreign universities. In the past also many students from India are going to and joining the foreign universities. Then academics, market analysts, marketing and sales representatives, quality assurance managers, sawmill managers, kiln technology, agroforestry plantation companies, forest corporations, archaeology, so many other fields. There are so many other fields outside this sector where wood technologists come in. But now there are some limitations. Limitations in research. There is a general lack of public-private partnership. Research, even today, research is dependent mainly on public funds. Whereas being an industry-oriented sector, it should go directly, it should be funded by the private industries. This is not largely happening, but for the larger industries. Otherwise, it is not happening because this field is still mainly in the unorganized sector. Then availability of indigenous raw material, because India has taken a decision not to fell her natural forests. Indigenous raw material for research is not available. Then limited subject matter experts. It is only in the past 10 or 15 years that we have got highly specialized people in the field of wood science and technology. Otherwise, it has remained a very traditional field. Basically, it started from forest products, very traditional fields. And then limited job opportunities in the government sector. The wood-based industries are many, but they are unorganized. Career growth usually is slow unless you go into an MBA or you have an added qualification with MSc Wood Science, you have a management degree, then it becomes more effective. Otherwise, you remain as a wood science and technology. More working hours. This is what our feedback from our students. And then miscellaneous works. Some of the students would be expected to do the miscellaneous works outside the domain, not necessarily in wood science and technology. They could be asked to go into marketing or HRM or so many other fields. Relatively, it is lesser paid than other sectors. And then in some industries, there is also a gender bias, because the wood science and technologies are usually expected to work in an industrial environment or at difficult working hours. So these are the limitations, but slowly this sector is also emerging out of the limitations. Changing scenario. a very positive scenario is emerging. There is a strong alumni linkage. The seniors, they usually pick their juniors. That is very strong in wood science and technology sector in India, because the seniors would be looking at the new students who are coming into the courses, and then they get picked up. Then industries now are realizing the importance of specialization. For the about 10 years back, only the larger industries, they wanted specialists in the wood science and technology sector, but by and large, even the medium industries are realizing that they need specialists. So this is how things are changing. Then awareness of environmental, economic and social sustainability amongst industries, because you see, the industry is basically a business concern. As the industry gets more profit, they realize they need people, they need specialized people, they need people who are aware of the environment, who can link various issues, economic and social sustainable issues. And then standards, wood product standards and certification. Not only forest certification, but also certification of wood, certification of timber, because of exports. Uncertified products from uncertified forests are not getting picked up. They are at a disadvantage so far as the international market is concerned. So forest certification, forest product certification is also a major change which is driving the wood science and technology field in India. Okay, thanks. I think that's